This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Mercedes, and I'm like, yes, this is my Mercedes with a BMW wheel and caliper.
Huh.
There's Bayley.
Nice smile, huh?
How about young Bayley meeting John Cena and Bret Hart?
Yeah.
It really is something else that she's worked this hard her whole life on being a professional wrestler, and it's finally happening. She's reading a letter she wrote 10 years prior to herself about what she wanted for herself, and now she made it all happen. It's a pretty remarkable story.
Yeah, I like it. I like the story.
It's also interesting that some of the people you think are the real good guys in wrestling, like who the good guys are on screen and the bad guys are on screen, it's not always the same in real life.
No, I know. But mostly, I say mostly, everybody in wrestling is a pretty good guy and a good girl. Yeah. There's some shitheads, I know.
Oh, right in the booby.
But overall,
you know something I wish wasn't a part of wrestling? Hair extensions.
Really?
I have an irrational hate of hair extensions.
Really?
Yeah. An irrational hate.
I like Big Swole's hair extensions.
Cool story, bro. Why was the Iron Sheik posing with the Hogan 86? Why did he not have the big green?
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I mean, for years he carried around the WCW world title. Like, what the fuck? Hey, by the way, Dana Brooke is Cassio Kid's guilty pleasure.
Really?
Yeah, as much as you're into Jordan Grace, he's into Dana Brooke. We went to a house show here in Huntsville probably 5 years ago, and she was on it. And
he went in the back and whacked off?
No, we had comp tickets from the radio station, or I don't know, WWE. Somebody gave us tickets. And so we take our seats, and we didn't get there right when the show started. This was like the second or third match. And she's coming out to the ring as soon as we sit down. And as soon as we sit down, he immediately stands up and says, "Ooh, who's down with the thickness right here?" And I had to explain that was Dana Brooke, and it instantly became his favorite lady wrestler of all time.
Another long story here.
Yeah, part of the Four Horsewomen, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, man, their influence on wrestling in general cannot be overstated, I don't think.
No.
You know, before women's wrestling in WWE, and just in general, was sort of an afterthought. You know, it was a generation before, it was bra and panty matches. But right before they got there, it was 2-minute gagas. You know, they'd put 8 of them in the ring or 4 of them in the ring, and they'd have 2 minutes. And it wasn't until this group of ladies came up that they started to give them time. And that's not to say that they were much better performers than all the women who came before them. It was just this combination of women that convinced Vince, let's give them a shot. And it worked, because you see some clips there of Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella was a great performer that a lot of people slept on. But either way, this crop of talent gets the opportunity, and they're well-deserved to be in the spotlight. And here she comes.
It was this crop of talent that enabled women to headline a WrestleMania, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there she is, the most decorated women's wrestler of all time. And that's a really cool robe, and I think that might be one of the only robes, maybe the only robe that she ever sold. I think a private collector in Virginia wound up buying that one.
Blows me away that it's Ashley. It really does, in many ways. Just shows you how old we all get.
What's funny too is the perception of her versus real life. You know her a little bit these days.
I know her actually well enough to hug her, have a conversation with her.
The perception is that she is this cocky, arrogant, blah, blah, blah. In real life, she is the most genuine and insecure people pleaser.
Yes, she's one of the most approachable people out there.
Oh gosh, like
Yeah.
you know, what'd you think? Was that good enough? Well, no, tell me the truth. Was it good? I don't think it was good. I mean, what?
Right.
And that is very Flair-like, you know, like
Sure it
where
is.
Flair back in the day would project this ultimate cocky, arrogant, cock of the walk heel, but behind the scenes,
Well, I know.
not the case.
Nope.
Very almost neurotic and I don't know. And she has that. And I think the rap on her is totally different. And as a result, the perception is that she's someone that she's really not.
Well, and that's because it comes from people on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the people on Twitter are all bad people in the world are on Twitter.
Yeah, that's been well established.
But yeah, well established. It doesn't mean everybody on Twitter's bad. But
if you're a bad person, you also have a Twitter account.
That's right.
I wonder if Bayley has a Twitter account.
You know who you are.
What do you think of these happy people?
Yeah, I never did like it.
It was good. I'll tell you, I thought it was a cool gimmick because it was different.
Yeah. I thought it was one of those things where it was different, I get it, but it was almost too much.
No, I agree. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
Self-Tanner Jones right here. Man, I tell you, I wish we could go back in time and just get this and just market a product called Wrestler Self-Tanner. You can just fucking sell crates of this shit every week.
Yeah, and that real hot stuff that brings out the whatever that is.
Oh, you know what we sort of didn't discuss here on the show? I think it was a few weeks ago. It was Valentine's Day time. I don't know if it was actual Valentine's Day, but it was around that time. Your favorite, Mrs. Grace, posted a picture on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I saw it.
And I didn't send it to you, but all I could think was somewhere Tony has a Woodrow.
Yeah, it was quite a picture.
So did some leak out, or what are we doing? What?
I sent you that picture.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Do you remember what you texted back to me?
What?
Okay.
What
There's some things that are best left unsaid on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm sure it was funny 'cause you're laughing.
It was fucking hilarious because I laughed for a long time.
I can be funny every now and again.
Yeah. Well, here we go. One of the last two matches, and Bayley's the champion here, right?
You've got me excited. I'm gonna look up what I said.
Okay. You don't remember that?
Yeah, Bayley's the champion. See, she walked out with the belt. You see?
Yes, I saw her walk out with the belt. Okay. And I see the hashtag Women's Championship upper left-hand corner.
By the way, we should mention Mance Warner.
It's coming to dinner tonight.
He needs a job with AEW.
I can't get people jobs.
Well, you said you were fucking scouting talent.
Well, that doesn't mean I can get you a job.
I didn't ask for me a job. Listen, if I was going to get one, I would have already had one. I can't get a gig over there. Nobody wants me around. It's not, I mean, I don't know what I did, but
Yeah.
apparently I got heat. I don't know.
You don't have heat. But anyway,
Wait, I replied, "My God," and you said she wants me. I can see it. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Do you want her number?"
that's right.
And then Dave Silver responded with a graphic, and then you said, "You guys are fucking dumb."
Yeah.
And then you said, "Sign an audience. Britt Baker fears Lois Schiavone."
Yeah.
Did you show that to Lois?
Yeah.
Did Lois offer you any nappy dugout?
No, she said, so what's this angle about? I said, it's a work, honey. It's a work. I said,
Oh, dude, if you sold that, when you get caught knee deep with Nia Jax, you can just say, "It's a work, honey. We're doing an interpromotional angle. I was putting her over, letting her get the heat on me."
stop it.
What?
Stop it.
I think that's sellable. I
Yeah.
was letting her get the heat on me,
Yeah,
honey.
buddy. That's
Don't be a mark, Lois.
that's sellable. God almighty.
Ashley's Charlotte's legs are disproportionate to the rest of her body.
She just got long legs.
Like her legs feel like they're as long as Bayley. Like when she just rolled her up, it was like she kept rolling. It's like,
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, you're right. She's very tall, very lanky in many ways.
If intergender wrestling ever happened in WWE, it would be interesting to see what they would do with her.
Yeah.
I mean, Tessa Blanchard's doing it, so
Right.
I'd be curious to see if they did it with Ashley.
Do you think it'll catch on because they've done it with Tessa?
Well, you guys did a little bit on the ship.
Right. Yeah.
Kenny Omega feels really strongly about it, I think. So
Right.
if I have that right, I think that there's a chance we'll see some of it in AEW, probably not on TNT.
Right.
Because I don't think they want to roll the dice on that.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not saying that, by the way, I have a strong opinion one way or another. I'm just saying from an advertiser standpoint, you don't want to alienate yourself or make it hard for you to do business. And some brands may not want to participate with that.
No, I get that. But the good news is that we're doing good stuff now, and TNT likes us, got good people. We had a lot of the TNT people a couple of weeks backstage at Atlanta, and
How did that go?
It was great. Got to meet a lot of new people from TNT, and
how many of them remembered you from back in the day?
Actually, like maybe just a handful. There's a lot of people who, well, they're familiar with me now because they
watched the show. Yeah,
they watched. But I mean, they were kind of. I think some of the people started watching the old stuff now, but I really thought it was great that I didn't see anybody that I knew. I mean, one of the greatest things I think about pro wrestling is that there's not the name Brad Siegel around anymore.
Well, calling people out.
Well, there you go.
Our phones are blowing up over here. People are hearing what we're talking about, and they're fired up about it. They have strong opinions.
I bet they do. Dave keep texting saying, "What's for dinner?"
No, he's not eating with us. He knows that.
No.
He knows he can't eat at my table no more.
Really?
He's done.
Can Heather eat at your table?
I love Heather.
Yeah, why don't she?
By the way, Dave's son is a television star waiting to happen.
Really?
Oh, my God. He's the most adorable kid ever. I don't think it's actually Dave's. Don't get me wrong. Cute daughter, great daughter.
Yeah.
Paige is tremendous. I'm just saying, Aaron, he was born with a heart condition.
Right.
And so he's a little undersized.
Right.
So he's like a little cartoon character. He's pocket size.
Right.
And he's just tremendous. Like he has such a great disposition, such a huge smile, just like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever his dad was allowed in my house, he would be over here just hanging out. Mm-hmm. And Aaron would just make the approach. He would come into the room, just give Dave a hug, and leave. And I would be like, wait a minute, what? Look at this move with Ashley here. I love this. I don't know why that tickles me, but it does.
It's because no one else does it.
A figure four like move on the head, flip it over, drive her head into the mat a few times. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, the kid would just do run-ins for hugs. That's like, what a great kid. I think I may adopt him like you did Bug.
Yeah. I almost brought Bug.
You should have. I mean, you could live here,
Yeah, I know. I may end up one day. But
downstairs, it would be fine. By the way, I don't know that we talked about this, but did you see the Jimmy Havoc vignette, Dexter style, on Road?
I have not seen it yet.
They aired a couple of weeks ago.
Did it really?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was on the road to Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And, I thought that was kind of cool.
I don't know if you've been noticing this, but within the last week, there's a lot more of me on BTE.
And why do you think that is?
Because maybe they like me. I don't know.
Maybe you're getting over.
Maybe so. I've said it before. I love Cody. Just getting to know Kenny, but man, do I love the Bucks too. Matt and Nick are just, and I remember you and I on an earlier edition of this podcast, you telling me all about the Young Bucks, and you told me about the Meltzer driver, and you told me about how they got fame online, and how their T-shirt sales are incredible. And I'm thinking, who the fuck are these guys?
Right.
But then once you see them,
You're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, you get it.
You have a light bulb moment with it.
Right.
And Matt Jackson is one of the great minds in wrestling. And I think Nick Jackson, if you could fast forward 5 years, I think Nick Jackson and Ray Phoenix are the two top guys in AEW. I mean, Matt Jackson is a wrestling genius.
Yes.
But Nick Jackson, there's something about, I don't know.
He just does some crazy, he just crazy shit. I mean, he does. Just
not just that stuff. I'm saying just the way he moves in the ring.
Right.
Obviously, much different body type.
Yes.
Like the way Barry Windham just happened to be in the right spot at the right time, and everything just made sense. And it looked almost effortless.
Right.
I feel like that watching Nick Jackson sometimes. Like, wait, that looks really hard to do. How did he do that? Fluid, as you said.
Well, it's a term that I used earlier in this podcast. They had the aptitude. Some kids do.
Speaking of aptitude, Charlotte definitely has it here.
Yep.
I love when Charlotte gets to work as a heel and gets to work as like a bully, slapping the stomach of Bayley there, talking trash to her the whole time.
That talking trash is good because you can call spots. No one knows what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Well, actually, whether she knows it or not, it has resting bitch face. She just looks like she's mean or mad all the time until you start talking to her, and then she just starts giggling. But before that happens, she just looks like, oh, she's not approachable. She's angry. And so when she's bullying people, look at this. Yeah. I love that. I saw her do that at a house show in MSG against Natalia.
Yeah.
And I could not praise that spot enough. Just step on her as you go over. That's awesome.
Athletic too, man. I like the term resting bitch face.
Yeah. Well,
it's pretty cool.
It's a thing. You never heard it before?
No.
Yeah, resting bitch face. It is a term. I didn't make that up.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you should.
Bayley doing a good job of selling this too, man.
Look at the moonsault. Her moonsault is criticized a little bit because she lands too perfectly, and I think that's the stupidest criticism ever.
Is it by the bad people on Twitter?
Priya.
Yeah. They know who they are. They're terrible people. That's okay. I mean, look, in the course of mankind, there have to be good people and bad people. There just has to be. Not everybody can be good. So if you're a bad person on Twitter, I get it.
Isn't it remarkable how much Ashley has changed her look from when she was in NXT to now? This video we're watching is 3 years old now, and she's leaner than she was then. And just there's so much pressure in this business to cosmetically. You've got to always be at the top of your game.
Right.
And I feel like she's leaner now. I feel like she's more muscular now. Definitely her makeup presentation is different. Everything's a little different.
Sure.
And I think that is the mark of someone who's going to have longevity, because you could say the same thing about Chris Jericho.
Right.
You see something Chris Jericho did 3 years ago, and you look at him now, and there are going to be lots of little subtle differences where you may not notice it day by day, but when you look back years apart, they're a little different.
Yeah, that's very observant there. Ooh, great move.
Really, it was. These girls are tearing it up.
Yeah. How is Bayley as a heel now? Is she better than she was as a babyface?
I think the babyface thing had run its course. Just because it was just more of the same. And, she was really sort of the lovable loser for a long time before she got positioned here with the title. And I don't know that fans really bought her the way they should have based on her abilities, because she is a tremendous wrestler.
Yeah.
But I think this had just sort of run its course. So they needed to give her a fresh coat of paint. And they did that. And I don't know if you've noticed, but her gear now that she has made, that she uses pretty regular, says B-A-Y and then underneath L-E-Y. And then, of course, she is the women's champion, so she has the belt around her waist. So right down the center of BAY, it's the letter A, and right down the center of LEY, it's E, and then of course she wears the belt, and that's a W. So if you look top to bottom, AEW.
Wow.
Yeah, the internet had a lot of fun with that first time she wore that gear with the belt. Like, is this a clue? No, guys, it's gear.
It's just
I love that that a lot of fans on Twitter, which you've had fun with talking about today, think there is a wrestling Illuminati. And some of those fans think that I run the wrestling Illuminati, which I admit sounds like something I would be into. I do back channel a lot of information. Like I tell Mance Warner he needs to get a job with AEW.
Is he still working for MLW?
And then I don't know what indie shows he's doing these days. I think he's the AAW. Why are you laughing? He's the AAW world champ. I know he does stuff with, I've got to show you this before you leave.
Okay.
Game Changer Wrestling. Great friends of the show, Mr. Brett Lauderdale.
Right.
As you know, I've done a lot of business with Fight, so I have one of those cool passes with Fight where I can see anything on Fight. I probably shouldn't have said that, but whatever. I got one, so I can see anything on Fight. And I decided to buy a pay-per-view, even though I already had it. I just wanted to say, hey, I like this idea, because they were telling a tremendous story with Nick Gage and Ricky Shane Page in the main event. But in the match that wasn't the main event, what was promoted pretty hard, it was Alley Cat, who you would love because she looks prime for the tussling. And she was taking on Mance Warner in an intergender match.
Right.
And Mance described the match that he wanted to me as an episode of Cops, where instead of the cops breaking it up, they just let the two redneck trailer park people beat each other up. And that's what they did. But what they did at one point is they had Alley Cat take a handful of skewers, like wooden skewers you would, put shrimp on a bobby with, and drove them into the forehead of Mance Warner.
That's good.
And to the point where when she removed her hands, he's strutting around like the new Peacock logo from NBC. With all these skewers sticking out of his head.
What the fuck are we doing?
And if you know what Mance does for a living in real life, it is a pretty hysterical sight to see.
Oh, God. These girls are having a good match here, Conrad.
Yes, they are.
They really are, man. Wow.
I don't know that they're capable of having a bad match. There's a handful of these girls that they're so familiar with each other, they're going to have a great match. They go 16 minutes, 48 seconds, 3 stars. We should mention the reason Dana Brooke is not out there. Charlotte tells Dana Brooke to go to the back.
Right.
The crowd was way into Bayley early, but as you can tell from the reactions here, they're getting quiet as the match goes on. I think at this point, if I'm honest with you, you have a little bit of audience fatigue. We've seen so many great matches in a row on this one. And this show was really promoted based around Goldberg and Kevin Owens. So people are ready to see Goldberg. He is a curiosity. He is a big star. I think they're ready for him here.
Right.
And he's not there. Oh, and look, we have a lovely assistant. Say hello, Megan.
Hello.
We're watching
She's
your
the
sister
best.
wrestle. Do you have any comments about her and Bayley?
No.
She has nothing.
No comments about
But she
her.
did bring me a mixed drink and a podcast mug of my favorite podcast
Something to wrestle.
with Bruce Pritchard.
Right.
Of course, this is where the power lies, brother.
Yes, I will have something.
What would you like?
Well, we're almost finished. I'll wait.
No, let's have a drink.
Okay.
Let's celebrate the end of the show.
Yeah. Okay. We'll celebrate at the end of the show.
You want squirts?
Do you have a ginger beer?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, he's Moscow muling it up, ladies and gentlemen. I like it.
This is so wonderful.
Dude, this is what having a good wife is like.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. We're sitting here in recliners, got our chair, got our feet up,
Yeah.
watching the big screen TV, the new TV, the nicest TV I've ever owned, just being delivered drinks. Wait till she feeds me grapes later. It's really cool. Happens around 8 p.m. Right before I hit my
But wait a minute. What's her name doing here?
Sasha Banks.
All of a sudden,
is-
she appears.
She is tired of Charlotte Flair screwing everyone out of their opportunities. Bayley to belly. 1, 2, 3. There's your finish.
Wow. Very cool.
So another distraction finish. That was the criticism from Meltzer. Too many distraction finishes.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Wow.
Charlotte takes the pin. Bayley is your champion.
And I thought, based on the reaction from the Meltzer fans, that this would be a shitty show, but it's not.
It is not a shitty show.
It's a good show.
It is a great show.
Yeah.
I think the reason it gets a bad rap is because, again, it feels like a transitional show.
Yeah, it feels like
It's
just thrown
not
in
the
middle.
Royal Rumble. It's not WrestleMania. It's
Right.
just another one.
All right.
And it's really in place here to set up the matches at WrestleMania.
Right.
By the way, doesn't my wife look nice today?
She's beautiful.
I agree. I highly recommend, if you're listening, get you a 6-foot blonde-haired, blue-eyed wife with more college degrees than you got socks. You will not regret it. She'll beat you at board games, but she'll put you over. So it works. It's a good deal.
So what it's called, Bayley to Bayley?
I don't know.
But that sounded good.
It was a belly to belly, but it's her name, so
Right.
maybe I made it up. Maybe they called it that. I try not to listen to Byron Saxton if I can help it.
Okay. What's that?
What's the proper ratio of a Moscow Mule?
Proper ratio is 2 shots of vodka and about 6 ounces of ginger beer.
So half the can, sweetie.
Yeah, half the can.
And here we go. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.